Hi everyone, welcome to Weekly Cooking with Becky, and today we're going to be making a dessert. I have made Snickerdoodles before on this very YouTube channel. You'll have to go back and check them, and they are delish. Well, I hope to bring you another version that's delish, and the reason I'm bringing you this one is not only is it low carb keto, but I now have some followers that have expressed some interest in paleo, and I have some that are vegan. And I saw this one and I purposely went, I'm gonna do this because this one gives you options for traditional as well as making the vegan twist. And I'm gonna say what it is. So I'm going to be doing it vegan today. So that way, those of you guys that have talked to me off to the side, I hope that we're going to get you a Snickerdoodle cookie that you like. Both of them are great, but this one is definitely, I'm trying to reach out to a specific crew, but I think any of you will like it. And I will also tell you what you can use if you want to keep the dairy in and go traditional. All right, so it only makes 9 cookies. I don't know about you, that's not enough. So I'm doubling the recipe, okay. But I will put the link in the description, so click on where it says more and just know that I've doubled it. So I'm gonna tell you their measurements just so I read it directly the way the recipe does, but I'm making 18. All right, so in your dry bowl, you're gonna have 2 dry bowls. Your main bowl, you're going to have 1 1/4 cups of almond flour if you're making 9, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/16 teaspoon of salt, like that's just a little shimmy shake, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and that's in your dry bowl. Then in the dipping bowl for later, you'll have 1 tablespoon of granulated sweetener of choice and a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon mixed up for the rolling. Mine are obviously gonna appear more. Liquid we're gonna be adding, you're gonna want maple syrup. Now, if you're on a traditional regular diet, use whatever maple syrup you want, pancake syrup, whatever, or use a sugar-free one if you're paleo, vegan, keto, low carb, etc. Use a sugar-free. And then I'm doing avocado oil to keep it vegan, but if you are paleo, keto, low carb, and you're not as concerned, you can do the coconut oil, but I'm gonna be doing the avocado oil today. All right, here we go. So in this bowl, I have all of the dry ingredients, and there's no hand mixer or anything. So I'm just gonna mix these dry. Get these mixed in. You'll notice my bowl is small. Even at double the recipe, my bowl is small. You want a 1-inch cookie dough scoop, or if you just have a 1-inch tablespoon, but you're gonna wanna form balls out of them. So these are always handy because they automatically make the ball. So I've done that. I did that earlier in here. Might have to do a little bit more later. So now we have to add, there's no sweetener in here yet. So that's gonna be the sugar-free. I'm trying to keep my brain from showing. The sugar-free. So they say 2 tablespoons. So you know me, I'm gonna add 4 because I'm doubling, but 2 tablespoons. This will be your sweetener. Okay, so let me just repeat that. You're going to add 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, preferably sugar-free, but use whatever kind you want. And I'm keeping it vegan, so avocado oil, 2 tablespoons. Once again, I'm gonna do double. Okay. That out of the way. And then all we're going to do is mix this up And I'm just gonna tell you right now, we're gonna mix this. I'm gonna stop here, the video here for a minute, but I'm gonna keep mixing till it's thoroughly mixed. And then I am going to let it rest for 2 minutes and test it. If it's too sticky, I'm going to add a smidge of almond flour. So you don't want it too sticky. You want it to be able to roll a ball and hold its shape. If it's too dry, I'm gonna just drizzle in a little maple syrup. And if it's perfectly fine, we go. So you just mix, sit for 2 minutes, test it, and then get it to the right consistency. I'll let you know if I had to add anything when I return. Okay, so mine sat for 2 minutes, and then what I did is I took the scoop and I put in, and then I tried to hold a ball shape, and it did crumble a little bit. What I ended up having to do for a double recipe was a half a teaspoon of more maple syrup. Now, that could be based on the brand of the almond flour that you use, or it could be based on the brand of the syrup that you use, because they all have different textures. So just kind of be ready to ebb and flow with that, but I am glad that I tested that. I'm looking at my carbs, and my sugar-free has less than 1 carb per 2 tablespoons. So at a half a teaspoon of over 18 cookies, that was a very negligible amount. So we're gonna go ahead and start forming it. It probably really, when you divide it out, did not change the nutritional information. I'm not worried about that. Okay, and it was 5 calories per 2 tablespoons. So yeah, that didn't even add a full calorie to the cookie. Okay, so we are going to make the balls, roll them into the cinnamon and sugar, and I'll do a couple of them, and then we're gonna flatten them. And what happens is you wanna flatten them to your desire. They recommend between 1.5 to 2 inches, no more than that. They do not spread while cooking. So whatever size you make them, that will be the size that they are going to be. If you want to go pretty flat, you're gonna have a very crispy cookie. If you're more thick, it'll be a more chewy cookie. I'm gonna go for the more chewy cookie. And I wanna say it's 8 to 10 minutes for cooking. That's regardless. It's just gonna be more soft if it's thicker and more crispy if it's down. And you do what you wanna do. Some people like crispy cookies, some people like softer cookies. I'm a soft gal. So let's do a couple of these, and then I'll show you once they're all done. All right, I'm gonna move this fork out of the way. A fork was also a good way of testing. Just, you can kind of see that it could just kind of mash and hold. So that's also another good way of just kind of checking. All right, have my cinnamon and sugar here, and making that ball. And now you can see it holds nicely. Rolling it all the way around. They say to do this to all 18 balls before flattening them, but it's YouTube. I'm going to just show you what we're going to do, and then I'm going to come back and show you the finished product. So I'll do this to 1. Make sure you guys can see that all right. What you're gonna do is take the back of a spoon and flatten them, kind of like you would do with a peanut butter cookie. You'll see it'll crackle there at the edges. That's totally normal. There you go. Now, you lose some of that sugar on there, and you're supposed to use the leftover, and you just sprinkle it on top. So I'm sure I'll go back and touch that up, but that's kind of what you do. And see if I can hold that up so you can kind of see that a little bit better. So you just sprinkle on leftover sugar. You do that for all 18 cookies, and then you just bake them for 8 to 10 minutes or until they start to turn that golden brown, and set the way that you like. It says keep an eye on them. Oh, edges are firm. I was gonna say, how can you really tell they're golden brown? They're brown. Edges are firm. So if the edges are firm, take them out. It says don't let them burn. So what I'm gonna do is when the edges are firm, I'm gonna take them out, and because they're on parchment paper, I'm gonna remove the parchment paper and lay them directly on the counter so that they don't continue to cook on the metal pan because we don't want them going too long. And you can serve them warm, you can serve them cooled, and I'll go over storage at the end. So I will be back here when we are ready to try them. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, so you saw those cookies, and I have been, do you ever like eyeball a particular cookie and you're like, I made them, that's the one I want to try? So I was eyeballing this one. It just looks like, I don't know, golden perfection. They smell wonderful. I've never had a Snickerdoodle that used maple syrup instead of your traditional sugars. I mean, we do have the granular and the cinnamon, but yeah, I've never used a maple syrup, and obviously sugar-free. So here we go. Vegan, keto, low carb, paleo, gluten-free. So it's obviously diabetic friendly as well, healthy living. Yeah, I got a bunch more categories in this one. See what we think. Oh, that is chewy. That's gotta be the maple syrup. This is really good. I made myself a cup of coffee. This is gonna be good with it. So that is really good. They're like, I don't remember the exact facts. I'd have to look at the recipe. I want to say it's like 118 calories a cookie and 1.3 net carbs. So you can probably actually eat two. They can be stored at room temperature in an airtight container for up to like 5-6 days. A week in the fridge, so almost tomato on that one. Up to a month in the freezer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start with my week, and then at the end of the week, throw some in the freezer for whatever we haven't finished, but I don't really think there's gonna be any left with our family. They're delicious. So that was an easy recipe, guys, and it's all stuff that you probably have in the house. So easy peasy. Oh, it did take me, it said 8 to 10 minutes. It took me 9.5, and I did the 2-inch size ones. So, but I went for the chewier one. So if you stick to the 2-inch size ones, 9.5 at $3.50. Just a little heads up there. And please make sure to subscribe. I am so close to my next number, which is 500. I'm like at 488, 489. I'm really, really close. And I'm going to do another giveaway at 500. So please subscribe. Please share my YouTube link out to other people to get them subscribing. Make sure once you're subscribed, you turn those notifications on so that you never miss a video. Help me get to 500, and I promise there will be a fun giveaway. All right, see you next time. Bye.